In the heart of every garden, there's a quiet magic. Tiny seeds becoming vines, green leaves reaching for the sun, and harvests that surprise you when you least expect them. Here at Garden Ideas, we believe that beauty and abundance don't require endless space or expensive tools. Sometimes, it's the simplest ideas that yield the most. Today, I'll share 18 inspiring cucumber growing designs that you can build yourself. Ideas so practical and creative that your neighbors might just stop and stare. From upcycled ladders to living tunnels of green, every project here blends ingenuity with nature's rhythm. Stay with us until the end for concepts you won't see in typical gardening guides. And if you love discovering ways to turn small spaces into lush, productive corners, subscribe and be part of our growing community. Let's create gardens that tell our story, one vine, one harvest, one beautiful idea at a time. On a modest balcony where space feels like a luxury, a row of humble plastic bottles hangs gently from a length of twine. They sway ever so slightly when the breeze visits, each one cradling a young cucumber vine. The leaves are a tender green, soft to the touch, and the yellow blossoms seem to smile at the sun. It's a sight that feels more like a friend's secret than a public display. Simple, quiet, yet full of promise. The beauty of the hanging bottle trellis lies not in grandeur, but in cleverness. By cutting and reusing bottles, you create individual growing pockets that keep roots snug in soil just where it should be. The vertical rise means each plant claims its own bit of sunlight without competing for ground space. Perfect for those with nothing but a railing and a dream. Watering becomes an act of care rather than a chore. A gentle pour from a small can trickles down the soil, and if you tuck a tiny hole near the base of each bottle, the water drains slowly, keeping roots perfectly moist without drowning them. This is the kind of DIY anyone can begin with a single afternoon and a handful of saved bottles. No heavy lifting, no expensive tools, just a willingness to turn what others throw away into something alive. And perhaps the best part? One morning, you'll step outside with your coffee and notice a small green cucumber dangling there, waiting for your hand. A quiet victory in the smallest of spaces. In the heart of a small garden, a simple A-frame of bamboo rises like an invitation. Its poles, smooth and pale, are bound together with jute rope and knots that speak of patience and hands-on care. It leans toward the sky, sturdy yet graceful, offering a gentle slope for cucumber vines to climb. From each side, the greenery stretches upward, tendrils reaching and curling around the bamboo as if they found a partner in their journey. The yellow blossoms to frame like little lanterns, glowing in the morning sun. Beneath, the soil stays shaded and cool, a quiet refuge for the roots. Building such an arch is neither costly nor complicated. Bamboo poles can be gathered from a nearby supplier or even from a friend's overgrown clump. With just a saw, some rope, and a little time, you can piece together this frame in an afternoon. The angle of the A-frame allows air to circulate freely, keeping leaves dry and healthy, while at height gives cucumbers room to hang clean and straight. No muddy spots from resting on the ground. When harvest comes, you'll walk between the two slopes of green, the leaves brushing lightly against your arms, and spot the fruits hanging like cool green pendants. It's a moment that feels both practical and poetic. Proof that even in the smallest gardens, with the simplest tools, abundance can flourish. Once a tool for reaching rooftops and painting walls, the old ladder now stands proudly in the garden, its purpose rewritten. The wood, aged and slightly worn, carries a history in its grain, a story of work and weather, now joined by leaves and tendrils. From the bottom rung to the top, cucumber vines climb eagerly, wrapping themselves around each step like they've found a home. Each rung becomes a stage. Small pots rest here and there, cradling not only cucumbers but also basil and marigolds to keep pests at bay. The height gives the vine space to breathe, lifting them away from damp soil and giving every leaf its share of sunlight. And there's something deeply satisfying about seeing the once-forgotten ladder transformed into a living sculpture, where practicality meets gentle beauty. Creating one is as simple as brushing off the dust, checking for sturdy joints, and leaning it in a sunny spot. Tie a bit of twine from rung to rung if you want to guide the vines, and let nature do the rest. The ladder's height keeps cucumbers hanging straight, and its vertical shape makes it ideal for tight spaces, be a courtyard, a balcony, or the edge of a small backyard. When the time comes to harvest, you'll find yourself lifting a leaf and discovering a cool green cucumber hidden in plain sight, dangling like a gift waiting for your hand. It's proof that with a little imagination, even the most ordinary things can hold extraordinary harvests. What once rolled along busy roads now rests quietly in the garden, given a second life filled with soil and green ambition. The tire's sturdy frame makes a perfect bed, holding the earth together while keeping the planting space neat and defined. Inside, cucumber vines stretch outward, their leaves spilling generously over the rim like an overflowing bowl of green. The beauty of tire planters lies in their simplicity. They're easy to find, cost nothing or next to nothing, and can be painted to add a splash of color to your garden. By stacking 2 tires, you create a deeper bed that encourages strong root growth, especially important for cucumbers, which thrive when their roots have space and warmth. The dark rubber gently absorbs the sun's heat, keeping the soil warm even in cooler evenings. To make the most of a tire planter, place it in a sunny spot and fill it with nutrient-rich compost. A layer of straw mulch will keep the soil moist and reduce weeds. Plant your cucumber seeds or seedlings near the center and let them trail naturally over the edges or guide them upward with a small trellis in the middle. Harvest time feels like opening a treasure chest. You lift a leaf in there, nestled against the tire's rim. A cucumber waits, cool, firm, and ready for your table. It's a reminder that in gardening, beauty doesn't always come from new things. Often, it blooms best from what we choose to give another chance. In the center of a modest backyard, a frame of white PVC stands tall and straight. Simple in appearance, but quietly clever in design. The smooth pipes are joined neatly at the corners, creating a clean trellis for cucumber vines to climb. At the top, a thin line of drip tubing runs the length of the frame, delivering water with a slow, steady rhythm. This setup is a gardener's silent partner. It doesn't shout for attention. It just works, day after day, keeping the soil moist without waste and giving the plants the support they need to grow strong and tall. The drip irrigation means less time on the hose and more time enjoying the garden, while the trellis keeps the vines upright, their leaves dry and free from ground pests. Building one is a weekend project at most. PVC pipes are light, affordable, and easy to cut, and they fit together like a puzzle. Add a few vertical strings or mesh panels, and the cucumbers will do the rest, twisting, gripping, and reaching higher with every warm day. The irrigation line can connect to a rain barrel or a garden tap, releasing just enough water to keep the roots happy. And then on a quiet morning, you'll notice the reward. Clean, straight cucumbers hanging within easy reach, leaves shimmering with tiny drops from the last watering. It's a reminder that a garden thrives not only on sun and soil, but also on a little ingenuity. And that sometimes the simplest tools make the biggest difference. Leaning quietly against a garden fence, the wooden pallet looks as if it has always belonged there. Once used to move heavy boxes, it now carries a softer burden. Cucumber vines winding their way through the slats, weaving a living tapestry of green. The wood, worn and sun-faded, holds the warmth of many seasons, and now it cradles a new story. This is a kind of project that begins with a single discarded pallet and ends with a wall of life. It takes little more than a bit of sanding to smooth rough edges, a coat of paint if you wish to add color, and a sturdy place to lean it. Each slat becomes a rung for tendrils to cling to, lifting the cucumbers away from damp soil and letting them bask in the sun. The vertical form means space is saved, perfect for narrow yards or patios, and also turns a plain wall into a backdrop alive with leaves and blossoms. If you tuck a few herb pots at the base, the scent of basil or mint will greet you as you tend to vines, while flowers like marigolds will help keep pests away. When the season ripens, cucumbers will hang neatly in the open, their skin unblemished, their shape even. You'll find joy in plucking them without bending or searching under heavy foliage. And as the vines grow taller, the palette becomes more than a garden structure. It becomes a quiet companion, a reminder that beauty often begins with what we choose to save and transform. In a corner where space is measured in footsteps, a simple rope net hangs like an open invitation. Its squares form a gentle grid, each knot tied by hand, each strand carrying the weight of quiet intention, to give climbing plants a path toward the light. The cucumber vines seem to understand, reaching out to the rope, curling around it with delicate confidence. The beauty of a rope net trellis is its adaptability. It needs no grand framework, just 2 anchor points and enough room for the net to hang. On a balcony, it can stretch from railing to ceiling. In a small yard, from fence to pergola. The rope's texture gives tendrils something to grip, and its open design lets air and sunlight pass freely, keeping the plant healthy. Making one is as simple as weaving your own or buying a pre-made net. Natural fiber ropes bring warmth and a rustic charm, while synthetic ones hold strong against rain and sun. Place a pot or raised bed at the base. Plant your cucumbers and guide the first shoots toward the net. After that, the plants will take over, filling the grid with leaves, flowers, and, soon enough, dangling green fruit. When you stand close, the net becomes more than just support. It frames a view of your garden like a living tapestry. And when harvest comes, each cucumber hangs neatly in reach, easy to pick without disturbing the rest. In the smallest spaces, the rope net is proof that a little vertical thinking can lead to a harvest that feels far bigger than the ground beneath it. In a neatly framed wooden box, the garden feels organized yet alive. Cucumbers stretch across a low trellis while the spaces between are filled with fragrant allies, basil, dill, mint. At the edges, marigolds stand like tiny suns, their petals bright against the deep green foliage. This is no accident. It's a quiet strategy where beauty and function live side by side. Companion planting is a gardener's secret handshake with nature. The basil repels pests that chew on leaves, dill attracts beneficial insects, and mint's strong scent masks the cucumbers from unwelcome visitors. The marigolds, with their golden faces, do double duty, charming the eye while discouraging nematodes in the soil. Together, they create an environment where the cucumbers can grow without constant intervention, supported by their leafy neighbors. The raised bed itself is a gift to the plants. It keeps the soil warm and well-drained, makes watering more efficient, and lifts the garden to a comfortable height for tending. Made from reclaimed wood, it carries a rustic charm. It's grain weathered but strong. Even in a small backyard or courtyard, this compact setup feels abundant, every inch serving a purpose. Come harvest time, the air is filled with the mingling scent of herbs and blossoms. You'll pluck cucumbers still cool from the morning shade, brush past basil leaves, and catch the sharp sweetness of mint in the air. It's the kind of gardening that feels less like a chore and more like tending to a living community. Each plant offering something, each one receiving in return. In the quiet corner of the yard, 2 halves of an old plastic barrel now brim with life. Once meant to store water or grain, they've been reborn as generous beds for cucumbers, deep, roomy, and warm. The vines spill gently over the curved rims, their leaves catching the sunlight, their blossoms opening like little stars against a backdrop of green. This is the beauty of a cut barrel planter. It gives the roots more depth in a shallow pot, allowing the plants to grow strong and productive. The thick plastic walls hold warmth in the soil, encouraging steady growth even on cooler nights. By elevating the plants, the barrels also protect them from ground pests and make harvesting easier. No need to crouch or dig through dense foliage. Creating one is simple. A sturdy barrel, a clean cut, and a few drainage holes drilled at the base are all it takes. Fill it with a rich mix of compost and soil, add a layer of mulch to keep moisture in, and plant your cucumber seeds or seedlings. The space above the rim becomes a cascade of green as the season moves on, with fruits hanging neatly and cleanly in the air. When the time comes to harvest, you'll run your hand along the rim, part the leaves, and find cucumbers cool to the touch, their skin smooth and taut. It's a reminder that with little ingenuity, even the most ordinary containers can hold the makings of an abundant harvest, turning what might have been discarded into the heart of your garden story. In a patch of soil between flowers and herbs, an old window frame stands like a piece of forgotten architecture. Once it framed the view of a room, now it frames the view of a garden. Its weathered wood and empty panes transformed into a ladder for cucumber vines to climb. The pane is chipped, the edges softened by time, yet holds a quiet elegance that feels right at home among leaves and blossoms. The transformation is simple but satisfying. By removing the glass and adding a sturdy wire mesh or garden twine, the window frame becomes a trellis that's both functional and beautiful. The grid provides perfect foothold for tendrils, lifting the vines into the sun and away from damp soil. Its vertical stance saves ground space, making it an ideal choice for small gardens or narrow borders. As the season warms, the vines weave themselves into the frame, each day filling more of the open squares with green. Tiny blossoms appear like golden coins scattered across the leaves, and before long, slim green cucumbers dangle in the spaces where glass once was. Harvesting is as easy as reaching through a frame. No tangled foliage to fight through, no hidden fruits forgotten. And when you stand back, the structure becomes more than just a support. It's a conversation between past and present, between what was built and what has grown. It's proof that with little imagination, even something worn and cast aside can become the heart of a thriving garden. In the quiet strip of soil that runs along the fence, a lean-to trellis rises at an easy angle. Its wooden slats, smooth and sturdy, catch the light as cucumber vines climb steadily upward. The structure leans in as if whispering to the plants, guiding them toward the sun without demanding too much space. This design is a gift to small gardens. By placing against a fence, you turn an unused vertical surface into a productive wall of green. The angled frame allows rainwater to run off and sunlight to reach every leaf, while air circulates freely to keep the plants healthy. Beneath the trellis, the shaded soil stays cool and moist, a hidden benefit that helps the roots thrive. Building one is straightforward. A few lengths of wood, a saw, and some screws or nails are all it takes. You can add mesh, strings, or even old wire fencing for the vines to grip. Once in place, the trellis feels like an extension of the fence, blending in until it's covered in foliage. By mid-season, the fence becomes a living wall. Cucumbers hang like lanterns in the slanted spaces, easy to spot and easier to pick. Standing there with the sun on your back, you'll find yourself appreciating the way this simple structure transforms a bare edge into the most abundant corner of the garden. And when the season ends, the trellis can stay in place, waiting for the next planting, quiet, ready, and patient. Above the patio, where sunlight filters through slats of wood, baskets sway gently in the breeze. They are deep and round, lined with coconut coir that holds the soil snug. From their edges spill green cascades. Cucumber vines alive with blossoms, tendrils reaching down like playful fingers. Growing cucumbers in hanging baskets feels almost like keeping a secret garden in the air. The height keeps them away from ground pests, while the trailing vines turn the baskets into living ornaments. The leaves catch the morning sun, their surfaces warm and slightly rough, while the blossoms open like miniature trumpets announcing the day. To create one, choose a sturdy basket with good depth. Line it well to hold soil and moisture, and plant compact or trailing cucumber varieties. A slow-release fertilizer and regular watering keep the vines vigorous, especially since baskets dry out faster than garden beds. The air circulation around the hanging plants reduces disease, and the dangling fruits grow straight, clean, and easy to harvest. By late summer, the baskets become lush spheres of green, dotted with the promise of fresh cucumbers for salads, pickles, or a cool snack on a warm day. Sitting beneath them, you'll notice the way the light filters through the leaves, dappling the table below, and hear the gentle creak of the basket swaying. It's a reminder that a garden isn't bound to ground. It can bloom above our heads, offering shade, beauty, and a taste of summer within arm's reach. Beneath the wide green leaves of the cucumber vines, a quiet helper works without fanfare, a simple bottle tipped into a terracotta spike, dripping life into the soil one slow breath at a time. The water seeps deep, feeding the roots where it matters most, leaving the surface dry and the plant's base free from excess dampness. This bottle watering spike system is the gardener's answer to hot days and busy schedules. It transforms a discarded plastic bottle into a steady reservoir, ensuring the cucumbers receive just the right amount of moisture over time. The terracotta spike breathes, releasing water gradually as the soil around it dries, creating a rhythm that matches the plant's needs. Setting it up takes only minutes. Fill a clean bottle with water, screw it onto the spike, and press the spike into the soil near the plant's roots. The result is more than convenience, it's consistency. Cucumbers thrive on even moisture. Too much at once can lead to rot. Too little can cause bitterness. This system offers the balance they love. Walking to the garden, you might forget the spikes are there until you notice how the leaves never droop, even on the warmest afternoons. It's a small piece of ingenuity that frees you from constant watering and lets the plants flourish quietly. Come harvest time, the cucumbers will tell the story themselves, smooth skin, crisp and sweet. All because, hidden in plain sight, a humble bottle and spike work together to keep the roots in perfect harmony with the summer sun. Step into the garden, and a green arch rises before you, inviting you to walk through. The tunnel is made of simple materials, rebar bent into graceful curves, wire mesh fastened across the frame. It's sturdy, honest, and unpretentious. Yet once the cucumber vines take hold, it transforms into a living passageway where sunlight filters through a canopy of leaves. The air beneath is cooler, shaded by broad green foliage and dotted with golden blossoms. Cucumbers hang overhead like ornaments, easy to spot and pluck without bending. The tunnel's design does more than charm the eye. It maximizes space, allowing the plant to grow upward and outward, keeping the fruits clean and the soil beneath uncluttered. Creating it is a straightforward project. Drive rebar rods into the soil on opposite sides of the bed, bend them to meet in the middle, and secure them with wire mesh or garden netting. Over time, the vines will claim every inch of the structure, weaving themselves into a dense, leafy shelter. Walking through the tunnel feels like stepping into a secret part of the garden. You'll notice the faint rustle of leaves overhead, the play of light and shadow, and the satisfaction of seeing your plants thrive in a space you built with your own hands. And when you reach up a harvest, the cucumbers will come away cool and crisp, as if they've been waiting just for you. Along the wall, what was once bare and plain now overflows with green life. Rows of old rain gutters, cleaned and mounted in tiers, have been transformed into slender planters, each one holding a strip of soil just deep enough for cucumbers to root and thrive. The vines spill over the edges, their leaves catching sunlight, their blossoms opening like quiet promises of what's to come. This system turns unused vertical space into a productive wall of food. The gutters act as long, narrow beds, perfect for training cucumbers to trail down or guiding them upward with small trellises. With multiple rows stacked, the harvest multiplies without taking up more ground, ideal for courtyards, patios, or narrow side yards. To create your own, find used gutters from renovation projects or by inexpensive lengths from a hardware store. Drill drainage holes, mount them securely, and fill them with a lightweight, nutrient-rich soil mix. Plant compact cucumber varieties, and make sure each row has enough sunlight and water. A simple drip line or bottle irrigation system can keep them consistently hydrated. As the season unfolds, the wall becomes a living tapestry, changing daily as the vines grow longer and the fruits swell. The cucumbers hang clean and straight, ready to pick without bending or searching through tangled stems. Standing back to admire it, you'll see more than a clever use of space. You'll see how a plain wall has become part of the garden story, a vertical harvest that feels both efficient and beautiful. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary barrel standing tall in the garden. But step closer and you'll see life spilling from every side. Cucumber vines pushing through neat rows of planting holes, their leaves fluttering gently in the breeze. With a light touch, the barrel turns, revealing even more growth on the other side. Every plant bathed in sunlight at some point in the day. The rotating barrel cucumber tower is a gardener's way of blending efficiency with playfulness. By planting along the sides and top, you multiply the growing surface without expanding your garden's footprint. The rotation keeps growth even, reduces shading, and makes watering or harvesting easy from any angle. Creating one takes a sturdy barrel, a drill to make the planting holes, and a simple rotating base, often made from a heavy-duty Lazy Susan mechanism or repurposed caster wheels. Fill the barrel with a lightweight, nutrient-rich soil mix. Plant cucumbers in each opening, and let the top space host flowers or herbs to attract pollinators. Over time, the barrel becomes a tower of green. Blossoms peek from unexpected places, and cucumbers hang cleanly away from the soil. Turning the barrel feels almost like unwrapping a gift. You never know which side will reveal the next perfect fruit. It's a structure that proves ingenuity doesn't have to be complicated. With a little imagination, even a simple barrel can become a vertical garden that spins its way into abundance, offering beauty, practicality, and a quiet satisfaction of harvest that comes from every direction. In the garden, the trellis stands tall and purposeful, Its wooden frame light yet strong, holding cucumber vines that climb with quiet determination. The design is simple. 2 hinge panels that can be spread open to form an A shape during the growing season and folded flat when the work is done. It's the kind of practicality that feels almost elegant, making the most of the garden's rhythm from spring planting to winter rest. The foldable trellis is more than a space saver. It's a way to garden without clutter. When open, it gives cucumbers a vertical lift they need, keeping fruits clean and within easy reach. When the season ends, it collapses in seconds, tucking neatly into a shed or against a wall until the next spring calls it back into service. Building one is straightforward. Wooden slats, a few sturdy hinges, and a bit of twine or mesh for extra grip are all it takes. The frame can be left bare for a rustic look or painted to match the garden style. The portability means it can move wherever it's needed, supporting cucumbers one year, peas or beans the next. As the vines fill the trellis, the open panels become a living screen of green. In the heat of summer, cucumbers dangle like lanterns shaded by broad leaves. And later, when the garden rests, the folded frame leans quietly in storage, a reminder that good tools, like good ideas, can last for years when made with care. In the center of the garden, an unusual tower rises, a pyramid built not from wood or bamboo, but from the rims of old bicycles. Each circle is stacked and secured with metal rods, creating a framework that seems both whimsical and sturdy. The cucumber vines embrace it eagerly, their tendrils curling through the spokes as if they found a playground made just for them. The pyramid shape gives the plants room to climb in every direction, turning the structure into a 360-degree wall of green. Sunlight reaches all sides, and air moves freely through the open spokes, keeping the leaves dry and healthy. The design also makes harvesting easy. You can walk around the pyramid, spotting cucumbers at every angle without disturbing the rest of the vine. Building one is a project of resourcefulness. Gather old rims, mismatched sizes only add character, and stack them from largest at the base to smallest at the top. Secure each layer with vertical rods or strong poles, anchoring them firmly into the ground. As the plants grow, guide their shoots toward the rims, letting nature handle the weaving. By midsummer, the pyramid becomes a sculpture of life. Green leaves layered with yellow blossoms, and cucumbers hanging cleanly between the spokes. It's a conversation starter, a practical trellis, and a work of recycled art all at once. When you step back to admire it, you'll see more than just a clever use of scrap metal. You'll see how creativity and gardening share the same language, taking what's available, shaping it with care, and watching it grow into something unexpectedly beautiful. In the garden, there's a structure that looks as though it grew right out of the earth. It's a trellis made not from smooth lumber or clean metal, but from the branches of fallen trees, each one unique in its bends and twists. Lashed together with simple twine, the frame stands with quiet, rustic grace, its imperfections telling a story of wind, weather, and time. The cucumber vines seem to love it here. Their tendrils find easy purchase on the rough bark, climbing with a wildness that feels right at home on this natural ladder. The open, irregular frame lets sunlight and air pass through freely, keeping the leaves healthy and giving the yellow blossom space to open toward the sky. Building such a trellis is less about precise measurements and more about intuition. It's an act of gathering what the forest has shed, seeing the potential in a crooked limb, and weaving it all together with patient hands. The result is a structure that blends seamlessly into the garden. Its earthy tones a perfect backdrop for the vibrant green of the vines. Come harvest time, the cucumbers hang like hidden jewels among the branches and leaves. Plucking them feels less like a chore and more like foraging, a quiet connection to the wildness that inspired the trellis in the first place. It's a reminder that sometimes the best tools are the ones we don't have to buy, but simply find, and that the most beautiful gardens are the ones that honor the